Hey collectors, Anthony from HNE here, and today we're looking at the Jurassic Park 30th Anniversary 2-pack, which is the second Jurassic Park crossover with Transformers. This one featuring Dilophocon and JP12, aka Dennis Nedry, basically is the concept for this guy. And as you see on your left, the Dilophocon, he's spitting acid, and then on your right, of course, JP12. So let's move these guys aside real quick and look at the packaging, which I thought was particularly interesting. They didn't do the open front display thing like they did with the original set, but I mean, this is decent enough. It's kind of like the scene in the movie. And then of course, you know, we get to the back, and here is the figures, the accessories. Although I'm like, I don't remember seeing whatever this clear thing is, because you can see the gun here and the spray can, and then of course the hat, which is this right here, and then of course all he came with was the acid, and this is part of the tail, and the other side, and of course the top has the Jurassic Park crossover stuff. The box, paper ties, cardboard, which is all well and good, but you get this type of insert here, and of course there's the instructions and the don't hurt yourself paper, but also it gives you like the car was here, the dinosaur is here, but then they give you this accessory pack, which I really like the way it's displayed. Let's see if I can get the box out. Isn't that kind of cool? It's like something you can use in the background of a picture display if you're going to set up like a shooting session. And inside was the weapons wrapped in tissue paper, so neat. The other thing I want to point out is the Dilophocon's head. The entire bit was wrapped in tissue paper, kind of like a lollipop. So when you take it off, be careful. But these pieces do come off, so it's not like it's broken if that is the case when you take it apart. The spitting acid and the 3 accessories for JP12 were actually in the paper that was in this box here. So when we get back, we'll take a look at these things. So I don't think a lot of people are going to know this, and they're going to throw away their packaging without taking a look, but there is actually a backdrop. Now, of course, it has these slices in it from the display in which it was, you know, holding the figures, but there is an actual backdrop, which is something they did with the other set, which, of course, had a clear window. You could keep the entire box together, but they did it with this, and they do that with Studio Series typically. Okay, so let's stick Dilophocon aside. We're going to transform him, and he's pretty good looking. He's a Jeep, of course. My copy, I don't know about anybody else's, is super stiff. It recommends you start by opening the door, pulling out the arms, and popping the back. And oh, by the way, if they're done right, they'll be pegged into like here. And yeah, so it says to pop the back, and it's like pegged into the feet, and you gotta pop it, and then it pops. Like, it's on a hinge. It's on a single hinge. It reminds me of Brawn from Combiner Wars, which worries me a little bit because of, you know, over time the hinge weakens, and for a lot of people who have Brawn, they're like, well, yeah, Brawn's, you know, broke. But as you see, here's the hinge, and you got to straighten it out. And if you don't have enough clearance to transform the legs, which is the next step. So once you do that, you can open up this piece here and straighten out the legs. This leg, if it'll let me. There we go. Close this back up, and then this piece here is the foot. Straighten out the other foot, and hey, we're about halfway done. So we're gonna move the arms kind of downwards and out of the way, just to keep them out of the way here. And we're gonna actually, you know what? I forgot one thing. Pull the tires forward, and then bend these in like this, and then pull this forward, and it'll snap into a piece here because a little bit here if you did it right. And Mine's being a jerk, so we'll give it a sec. While we're waiting for that, there is these pieces that come up, and they'll come up with the arms if you don't move them yourself. But here's the arms, and there's this little bit here. I don't know how well you can see that, but that will lock in there, and then you just pose the arms. I mean, not necessarily lock in more than just push them back, which I think is what their purpose for is anyway. But there's this back piece here. Cleared the butt side, the back side here, and you can straighten that out. And we're still working on locking the front in. And I was worried that like he wouldn't be perfectly aligned, but that becomes less a problem when you straighten him out, because you need to pull this up, and as I mentioned, it is super tight joint. But what's supposed to happen is these two bits here actually end up going into the back here. Once you get the, there you go, front's locked in now. This is what it should look like. Pull down the skirt, and then you should be able to pull up the back, and you see I've straightened this out now, and the tabs in. Then you close off this top piece here, and that's kind of just what you do with it. And here you go. It's a backpack. It's, you know, looks like he's going out for a hike. There we go. So it's okay. You can raise his arm up. There you go. It's a little bit better. Give him his little hat. It just uses friction to stay in place. Give him a gun. Give him the container, and we got Nedry in robot form. So yeah, that's pretty nifty. It's a different take from the Hunter we got in the last one. So we'll put him aside, or actually we can put him up here. Yeah, put him in display. So here is Dilophocon. So as these things do come off, as I had mentioned, but depending on how you feel about them, you can leave them on during the transformation. Although you probably should pull this piece out of his mouth if you put it in. Oh, there we go. And then, of course, he's going to pop off anyway. But you're essentially folding this back, and then we will take this down here, and we'll pull out the proper head. Oh, actually, you know what? I want to show something real quick, if it'll cooperate with me. Come on, tail. There we go. The tail is a thing. Like, if I can get it to... Come on, there we go. Turns into a weapon where you can attach this. And it's a shooting weapon. Or you can leave the tail in, and it basically attaches to the back when it's all folded, you know, correctly. Anyway, back to the head. So this is weird. Well, okay, first off, its legs are its legs, so there's no alternative legs. Here's these arms. We pull those out, and I'm gonna move this out of the way for a second so I can pull the head up. And here's the head, and then we kind of just fold the chest in. This is kind of reminds me of Dinobot, except if you remember Dinobot, his head folds in, and then there's like a cover side bit going on here. But this kind of arrangement with his arms remind me of the little Dinobot fossilizers. But I mean, essentially, this is his transformation. He is pretty much done, and just fix him up a little bit. Give him his gun. There we go. And hold on, I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I'm gonna keep these things on, but let's see, kind of like that maybe. Yeah, okay, that's better. There we go. So yeah, that's essentially it for his transformation. It's probably the easiest of the two. And of course, if we put the tail on here, the tail will connect with the tab right here on here to lock into place. But otherwise, yeah, he's pretty cool looking. And nature will find a way. And see if I can. Look at that. That is awesome. Now, before we wrap this up, one more thing I forgot to do. His shins actually come down and fill out his legs. As you see here, not as complete as I would like, but, here we go. With that said, tell me in the comments your thoughts on these items. Did you get them? And how was your experience with them? Thanks for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe.